Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hope we are well. And today we're going to talk about one very important element of music, and that's rhythm. And of course, we know that rhythm has to do with duration, that's long or short. So we're going to get out our hands for clapping. We're going to get out our counting, our math, and we're going to go full speed ahead. So for this chart that is in front of you, there's a note and rest chart. So we use these notes to govern all that you do in music in terms of rhythmic or melodic notation. So first of all, the whole note, it values 4 counts or 4 beats. And if you're clapping a whole note, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why I do this is that when you see one whole note, we clap and hold it for 4. But when we do our motion, our hand like this, we're understanding that the beat continues. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the third column, you notice there's a rest. So when you see this symbol, and it's like an upside down hat, it means that's a whole note rest. And that means that you would have to be quiet for 4 counts or 4 beats. The next one, half of that, is a half note. And you see, notice how it looks. It's almost like the whole note, but now we have what we call a stem. And the stems are usually on the right if they're pointing up, left if they're pointing down. And the half note values 2 beats or 2 counts. So if we're clapping half notes for 1 measure, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how we clap twice, but each time we're holding for 2 beats. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Whole note, 1, 2, 3. Half notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, of course, we do have the corresponding rest. That looks like a hat. So when we see this sign, we know that we have to rest for 2 beats. Next one down, we have our quarter note. And why it's a quarter note? Because we need 4 of them to make the whole. Half note because we need 2 of them to make whole. And if you notice, the beats are divided evenly. They're only getting shorter. We're not faster. So if we're tapping 1 measure of quarter notes, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? I give an extra 1. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 again. 1, 2, 3. So whole note. 1, 2, 3. Half note. 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, if we see this sign, that looks like a Z and a C combined. That's a quarter note rest, and that values 1 beat. Next one down, our 8th note. And of course, look at our quarter note before we get to the 8th. Notice it looks like the half note, but now we have a shaded note head, right? So we identify that. Our 8th note, now we have something different that looks on this 8th note. We have what we call a tail or a flag. So we have a shaded note head or a stem and a flag, 1 flag. So that indicates it's an 8th note. And notice the 8th note values half of a beat. So we need 8 of them to make the whole note. So the beats are only getting shorter, still even. So 1 measure of 8th notes, 1. So we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and whole note. 1, 2, 3, half, 1, 2, 3, quarter, 1, 2, 3 and 8th, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's our 8th notes. And now the next one down is 16. So 16th, if you notice, we do have our note head, our shaded note head, a stem, but now we have another tail, so now we have 2 tails. And the 16th note values a quarter of a beat, which is even shorter than the 8th. So look at how we clap one measure of 16 notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and right. So eighth, so our whole note 1, 2, 3, 4 off, 2, quarter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Of course, we can use occurrence patterns to remember these beats or the duration of these notes. So we can say food, rice, yam, dumpling, licky licky, of course. These are Jamaican terms. So we go food, ice, ice, yam, 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 yam. Dumpling, 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 licky, 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 licky. All right? And we can remember it that way if we can't remember all the counts. So these are a notation, and any combination that you see these notes, you should be able to clap them. So next chart, what we just spoke about, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and right. And that's how we get to the whole hierarchy of notation. Now, if we put this into play and talk about rhythm, so we mentioned, of course, rhythm is long and short. And if we look at the sample rhythms that are there, before we get to the sample rhythms, look to the right of your screen, which is talking about measures. So music is divided into groups of beats called measures. And a measure is the distance between two bar lines on the staff. So if you notice, we have a measure 1 and we have a measure 2. So our measure 1 is here and our measure 2 is there. And if you notice as well, we have some other things here. So we have these two numbers and this nice looking sign. So this is what we call our clef. And in this case, our treble clef or G clef, because it starts on the G line, right? Starts on the G line and our 5 lines to the staff, which we are familiar with. So we have first line E, first space F, second line G, second space A, third line B, third space C, fourth line D, fourth space E, and fifth line, F. So our measures, we are divided by bar lines. So we call these bar lines that would separate these. So this would mean that each bar is equal to 4. So the time signature tells you how many beats are in each measure. So our top number will tell you how many beats per measure. So this is indicating that it's 4, and our bottom number tells you which note gets 1 beat. So in this case, it's a quarter note that will get 1 beat, because a quarter note, you need 4 of them to make the whole. So let us look at our sample rhythms. So we have 4 of them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So let us look at 4. So are we seeing 4 crotchet beats? This is 1. This is 1. These 2 would make 1 crotchet, because remember, these are half beats. And then we have a 4th one here. So we do have 4 crotchet beats. Look at this one. You have 1 here. So our 2/8 would make 1. This will be 2. We have 3. We have 4. Look at this one. So we have 2 here. That's 1. We have 1 there. That's 2. We have 2/8 notes would make 1. That's 3. And we have a 4th. Now look at the 4th one. So we have 1 here. These 2 would make 1 crotchet. These 2 would make another crotchet. And this one, the last crotchet. So if we should clap all of these with our pulse being 1, 2, 3, let's go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We want to use the utterance patterns. Remember, we call the crotchets yam. We call the eighth note dumpling. So it would be yam, yam, dumpling, yam. If you want to do something else, you can do walk, jogging. So any crotchet is walk. The eighth note would be jogging. So first one again, walk, walk, jogging, walk. Look at the second one. Can we do that together? Ready? Time. Jogging, jogging, walk, walk. Or dumpling, dumpling, yam, yam. How about the third one? Dumpling, yam, dumpling, yam. All right? Or jogging, walk, jogging, walk. How about the fourth? You can try that one by yourself. Let's go. Yam, dumpling, dumpling, yam. And so we can look at and determine and clap these rhythms without problems. So all of those together with our pulse. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Yam, dumpling, yam. Next. Dumpling, yam. Next. Dumpling, yam. Next. Yam, dumpling, dumpling, yam. And that we have that. So look at our next slide. So now we unlock music's things. We have a division of things. So we say there are 9 measures as those represented here. From 1 to 9. Now if you notice, we do have some rests here. We do have to acknowledge, right? They're there, right? So if we should clap all of these together, it's like using the meats as well. So let's try 1 to 3 first. And notice we have a backing track. So I want you to work with this rhythm. Ready? 2, 3, and here, go. Go. Three. Good. How about 4 to 6? Gonna try 4 to 6? Let's try that one. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Great. How about 7 to 9? Let's try that. Here we go. Now remember, we don't clap the wrist out. The wrist. Observe that we're gonna give us 1 beat up. Highlight. Alright, let's try all of this together. Everybody from 1 to 9, here we go again. Go. 6, 7. Did we get it? Sure you did. So that's all it is. So if we were to incorporate another element, that is pitch. When we talk about pitch, we're talking about high or low. Or if you want to work with this track, you can say, well, actually, listen, I will just use 1 syllable. So we're going to go yam and dumpling with the same syllable. So we're going to go yam. Our syllable. Here we go. Oh my God. Here we go. Yum, 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 dumpling, 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 dumpling. Take a break. 4 to 6. Go. Yum, dumpling, dumpling, yum, yum. Dumpling, dumpling, yum. 29. Here we go. Dumpling. Yum, yum, dumpling, yum, yum, dumpling, dumpling. And if you're good at harmonizing, you could do a harmony to that. Same with the same rhythms. And we could on and on. 4 things. let's look up more picture and do some more close to it. But this is the basic rhythm. We have 9 bars, and we can use it for you want your own rhythm chart, you can mix it up. That's all you want. Shuffle it around. If you want to use substitution of notes, that's fine as well. And you can work with a rhythm. Easy, easy. So I'm going to take it a little bit further, and then we'll look at this one. Now, if you notice, there are 4 different things happening at the same time. So if you notice, the top stave or the top measure is featuring the maracas. So all of this line here is featured by the maracas. If you notice, we're familiar, so we have our 4/4 signature, right? And we have 2 measures, and we have our bar line, but we have something new, this here. So we have a double bar line and 2 dots. This indicates that this repeats. So when we get to here, we're going to go back to the beginning, and then we end the second time. If you look at what the gyro is playing, notice we see 3 things here, which means that we have to have that tremolo sound, right? And then we have the notes there. Or third thing, which is our claves. Oh, claves, sorry. And notice we have something new. We have a dot. We also have this thing here, right? And quickly, we did not talk about this, but a dot extends the note half its value. So for example, a crotchet by itself would value 1 beat. So if we have a dotted crotchet, now the beat has been extended. So now all of this is for 1.5. And notice here, there's a 8th note, there's a crotchet, and it's tied together. So that's almost the same function as here. This beat is also 1.5. So if you notice, the half of this is completed by this guy here. So now we have 2 there, 3 and 4. And that is repeated. And notice now our congas, we have the same rhythm. So we clap at these individual beats. This is a little challenging one, so we'll do that just the same. So here, let's go. Let's go with the maracas. We perhaps can use the same kind of rhythm, but we'll go without sound, or no, without an accompaniment. So for the maracas, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our pulse. So here we go, rhythm 1, 2, ready, go. And that will be our maracas. What about our gyro, which is the second one? So we have, sir? All right, I'm sorry I don't have a gyro here, so we can demonstrate. But next time we'll have some demonstrations. So we have all right, and now our claves or rhythm sticks. Now we have it dotted, so it will be this. Right, so that would be our claves. And again. And now our congas. So we have 8th notes for congas. That's almost like the top. But notice we see some that are below here. So this would indicate tone, right? So the different area of the drum. But let's just cap the rhythms for now. So we have right, claves. And again. Gyro. Sorry. Again. Marcus. And that's what we create a rhythm. And these can be accompaniments. So if you have 4 members, can play these individually at the same time, then that should be something special. So that covers our rhythms. So remember our note chart. So our whole note value is 4, our half note value is 2, quarter note value is 1, eighth note value is a half, and our 16 note values quarter. And of course, we have the corresponding signs that value the same but in silence. All right, so have fun with your rhythms. Hope that this is clear. Next time we create a composition with all of these and see if we can put them together. So until next time, see you later. Enjoy creating rhythms on your own.